for music.
Hi, my name is Millie Kasari. I come from the Hawaiian culture where we're all kind of laid back. As for the fighting subculture that we studied, we have like a mentality that if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. As for boxing wise, my family is big on that. They watch all the fights that come on. But for me wise, that wouldn't be like the first thing I would go to watch. For our subculture, I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm just kind of in the middle.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I come from a very conservative Catholic background. My grandparents are very traditional, but not so much my parents. Things have changed over time. They're actually divorced. And pretty progressive. The fighting culture isn't something new to me. My parents really love the sport, so I was raised watching like Rocky movies and like action movies. And then in middle school and high school, I kind of went to rough schools, so fighting I was exposed to fighting basically. I kind of even got into some altercations. So when it comes to boxing, I didn't really have a negative opinion on it. I actually think that they are great athletes. I know that boxing is really a really intense sport. And there's a lot of practice and training and discipline that comes along with it. It challenges you mentally and physically, and I think that's sort of beautiful.
Hi, my name is Tori. I was born and raised in a Christian household in the Midwest, so I was definitely raised around conservative beliefs. And fighting is viewed as something kind of destructive and violent. As for when I was little, I wasn't really exposed to boxing, but I guess going into the subculture, I would say that coming out of it, I would want to know why people are so immersed in the fighting culture and what it means to them.
So I'm Antonio Renteria. I've been boxing for 14 years now, going on 15. The family was big boxing aficionados. So I kind of just took after that. I did a couple amateur fights. That was pretty cool. I decided to stick with a sport, so I started working here at Gladiators. So I've been a coach for the past 8 years now. I like the kids. I like what we do for them. So it shows them discipline.
When and where did boxing originate?
Well, I think
or what do you know?
I think it originated when just two people decided to hit each other for fun. During the Roman era, it took off, and they used to wear leather straps, and punch each other. Then it pretty much died after that. And around the 18th century, it picked up again, and it is what it is today. It continues to grow. So that's as much as I know about it.
So why are people so drawn to boxing, and what does it offer them, and what do they gain from, being a part of this?
And this experience?
Yeah.
Well, I think it depends on the individual, right? Some people are sent here because they get in trouble. Some people, mostly by the parents. Others already know what they want to do. And once they get here and they start seeing everybody and how they communicate with each other, how they get along, they start opening up. It's a trust issue at first. Obviously, they don't know you, you don't know them. But we try to communicate with them, trying to let them open up to us, because we feel once everybody just kind of knows each other, are better at doing a lot of stuff.
Right.
Everybody helps each other here.
Okay.
You're not nervous, like it can be pretty intimidating walking into a place like this.
Right.
Especially when it's it's a warehouse dock, we're way in the back. It's not your typical gym. We call this a working gym. So the hardest step to come to a place like this is walking through the door.
So it's just a really positive environment.
Yeah, it is a positive environment. It might not look like it, you know, and I think everybody thinks that fighting is just how it sounds, right? It's fighting, but there's so much behind that, you know, so much discipline that's required.
All right, I am Jesus Sandoval, and I'm gonna knock you out.
Are there things that you kind of aren't allowed to do outside of here? Like the way you eat, maybe what you train, party?
Well, example, right now I'm trying for a fight, you know. Look at me eating apples, and I love like to eat like really bad, like ice cream. All that stuff, you know. But when I got a fight coming up, and like it's like strictly diet, you know, like apples, no ice cream. Like I portion every meal, you know.
Yeah.
And I had to work out hard, no party, go sleep, rest well, you know.
Yeah.
What's up? My name is Lupe Wolfgram. I'm from Foster City, or San Mateo, California.
What's your first interpretation of boxing? Like, how did you get and like
Into boxing?
Yeah, or just like
just started watching and stuff.
yeah, just like
When I was a kid, growing up in like I think middle school and stuff. Joe Louis and them from way back. Of course, Ali. All the greats back in the days. Rocky Marciano, all the big heavyweights. And I've been watching the Rocky movies, Balboa and stuff.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I like all the entertainment and stuff and all that. And it's also fun too. And yeah, that's what really got me into it.
Full fledged when you know, I'm like fighting with somebody like really close, you know.
Yeah.
And you step back in my dress, see our opening. We say opening when you see a mistake, you know. They say flecha. Flecha means to me like straight left, you know. Quite so fast, you know, like a fucking arrow, you know. Flecha, in Spanish, flecha, and so it's fucking fast and awkward. So they tell me flecha, and I'm like, all right, bam, I just land the flecha.
Yeah.
I land it right on your face or maybe on your chest.
Well, there's you know, the boxing world has a lot of slang. I think every gym has their own slang. The jab, the right hand, the hook are, you know, known by everybody because that's how you teach boxing.
Yeah.
Overhand right, you know, weak chin. Those are just different type of terminology that people use in regards to the whole sport. But I think when you're in an actual fight and you're screaming out stuff like that, you're letting your opponent know what you're trying to do. So every gym tries to figure out a way to communicate with their fighter in a way that the opponent does not know.
Oh, so like...
So you can't just go ahead and say throw a jab because you're pretty much just telling the other person what you're trying to do. So you figure out between your fighter and your coach different terminology. Well, sparring is pretty much just training, like training fighting, you know? Get you prepared for a regular match.
So it's like boxing for practice?
Correct, yes,
Okay.
boxing for practice. The actual terminology or the slang that you're using to fight is different. So, for instance, we use pica. Pica in Spanish means to poke.
To
right?
poke, yeah.
So when we're screaming out pica pica, for us it means jab.
And what's a jab? I'm not
A jab is your left hand if you're an orthodox fighter, or your right hand if you're a southpaw fighter. So if I'm fighting with my right hand, I'm going to throw my left hand as a jab. That usually creates distance, and it lets you position yourself to throw a right hand power punch, which your right hand will be in my case, right? All you got to do is reverse it if I was a southpaw, which is everything I do is with my left hand.
Oh, okay, so if you're left-handed or right-handed?
Yes.
Okay.
So it kind of varies.
What's a hook?
A hook is just a, you know, a left
A power punch?
Yeah, it could also be a power punch, you know. It's just a looping punch, also sets up. Hooks are dangerous though because they throw you off balance if you miss. So you got to make sure that you're in close before you try to throw anything like that. Unless you're, you know, Roy Jones, he got away with throwing a nice looping hook from the outside. Yeah, well, that's a professional fighter.
Oh, okay.
So also a world champ. So, you know, it all depends on the fighter and his athleticism abilities. They're able to do stuff like that, you know.
I also heard you say a weak chin, correct?
Oh yeah,
What is that?
yeah, that's a glass chin.
A glass chin? What's that
Well,
mean?
somebody that can't take a punch to the head or the face, you know. they get hit and they pretty much back.
So like boxers touch gloves before they enter a fight?
It's a sign of respect. You know, I think letting the other opponent know that they're about to get intimate with each other. You know, you can. It's intimacy. You know?
Yeah.
You're showing them that you respect them, and you're showing them the same thing. And that after the match, you know, it's not personal. You know, it's the guy who trained the hardest and was there to win.
Like, are there any special things that you guys do to greet each other when you come into the gym to practice?
Well, yeah, you know, most of the guys, the veterans that have been here for a while, they try to come in and show their respect when they walk in. They come up to the coach or whatever and let them know that they're here. Even though they're doing their own thing most of the time, they just kind of let us know. It's kind of like when you go home and you let your wife or your parents know, hey, I'm home, you know? It's the same.
And with other boxers and people who just come to the gym here on a daily basis, do they come in here and greet each other, or other people just like doing their own thing?
Well, it's usually the people that have been here a while. They tend to get close with everybody.
Yeah.
So it's more like so it's more like a thing to do when you walk in, because it's you tend to know everybody, so you want to let everybody know you're here. Yes, correct.
Is there a handshake, or do people give hugs?
Yeah, it's mostly like a little fist pump.
Yeah,
or like,
still
a little hug.
still the boxer's kind of handshake, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You know, kind of just letting everybody know, like, hey, here, let's get started.
Yeah. Are there some slang or symbolism that you guys use to communicate with each other?
You talking about the boxing world?
Yeah, like slang, or just how you guys communicate in the gym with another.
One of them is like when we're training, when we're hitting the mitts and stuff, like we got numbers and stuff to go by. So when he calls out a number, when Tony calls out a number, we'll do it, you know what I'm saying?
Can you give me like an example?
Like a 1-2 is like a jab and a right straight, something like that. It's simple once you get it down. So nothing too complicated.
So basically when we got there, nothing was unfamiliar. They talked to us in everyday language. They didn't use slang with us or gestures or symbolism that we wouldn't understand, but when they talked with one another, we noticed that there was some terminology that we didn't understand, and so afterwards I asked him, I was like, hey, like I heard you guys saying some stuff that I don't understand. What's that all about? They had their own slang, and they're like, yeah, it's like our secret weapon. So when they're in the ring, other people or their opponent won't know what move they're going to do next. And I think it's a way of how they communicate with each other for just like their subculture. Like it brings them closer together. I remember them saying that. It just brings them closer together, and it's like inside jokes that they use, and it gives them like a real sense of belonging and a sense of friendship. So I thought that was pretty neat.
So when I got there, the gym was kind of like tucked in a warehouse, so I was kind of like lost about everything. But when I called Sarah, she got me, and I walked in, and it was really quiet, and like not really, like nobody was in there. So then I met the guy. He greeted me with a handshake, and a firm handshake, and then and then he was just answering her questions and being very professional about it.
I want to ask how gender is viewed in boxing. So I know it's kind of more of a male-dominant sport. So how do you feel about women entering the sport, and are there women who you see boxing here?
Well, to me, what can I say, when my first sparring session was with a girl right here.
No way.
I remember that day, I don't want to hit this girl,
Yeah. So because you didn't want to take her seriously, because
yeah.
you're always...
So my mentality was like, I can beat the girl. You know what? She gave me a black eye. So I went home like, what the hell? She gave me a black eye. So next day, I'm like, man, you're not a fucking girl,
Yeah.
If I'm going to spar with you, I'm just going to put my best and I want to
Yeah, you guys aren't... Yeah, you can't... You guys are going to be equality then, right?
To me, like, girls or boys, I think it's the same,
It's the same thing in here.
If you really train hard, you can do whatever you want. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or boy, you're disciplined, and you follow everything.
So basically, boys and girls are at the same level then?
It's the same level. To me, it's the same level.
Okay.
Me, speaking for myself, not really. Because boxing, I think it's for everybody. It's for males and females. So there's not really much of a difference. Females can do it as much as males want to do it, but you know, like you said, it's a male-dominated sport. But females can also do it too. So I don't really change anything up.
What is the ratio here? How many guy boxers are here, and how many women boxers are here?
You're talking about this gym right
Yeah,
here?
this gym.
Oh yeah, like probably like not that many, you know.
Why do you think that?
Why? Because it's the Bay right here. Look at California, you know. Girls right now is like more like fancy gym. This is not a fancy gym. This is a real gym, you know. So right here, if you train with us like gladiator, that's because you want to be a fighter.
You want it, so it's like professional, but basically
exactly.
like this isn't.
It's not that typical like fancy gym like you want to go and work and wear like fancy shoes or whatever. You know, it's not like that.
This
if you
is
want
go
to train
hard or
with,
go home.
if you want to like you look at you, if you want to train with that, you have to really you want to think like you want to be a fighter.
Yeah.
You know, not like top model stuff like that.
Nothing.
Because right here you're gonna work out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you a black eye too.
And beliefs you guys share.
Well, right here, what can I say? You know, like I said, we're a family right here.
Yeah.
So I think that right here is everything about loyalty and trust.
So explain that to me.
So for example, look at me, you know, like I said, I used to be a soccer player.
Yeah.
Now I'm a fighter. So I used to feel in love with Tony and also my trainer, Ilo, you know, like, so when they tell me something like my father, you know, when he yells at me, I listen to him. Even with those guys, when they yell at me, I know they're doing that because they believe in me, they trust in me, they want to do better.
Yeah.
So even like outside, you know, in the street, like they want me to be a better person. So to me, Tony and Eloy, they're not my trainer, they're my father, my brother, you know, it's
everything,
my everything.
family.
You know?
So they give you a lot of discipline then?
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you.
So, it's just a lifestyle. You just gotta love it. When you come in, you just gotta be ready, get your mind ready for whatever it is the trainer has to offer. It's just a lifestyle of just keeping yourself, I don't know, for me, I'm trying to drop weight.
Yeah.
You know, so that and then just eating right and all that, just a lifestyle of what, I guess you can say staying healthy or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So something really interesting that happened to me while I was observing in the gym was this big noise that went off, and I didn't know what it was, but later on I found out that it was this buzzer that informs the boxers when they're supposed to kind of move on to a different exercise. You know, something else that was interesting was when we went to do the interview, we actually got in the boxing ring with the owner, Tony, and a couple of the other boxers that went to the gym. And when I went in and I was unsure if I was supposed to take my shoes off, you know, if shoes were allowed, I was afraid, you know, they were going to be like, hey, you know, you're not supposed to have your shoes on or, you know, whatever. But it was all pretty chill and, you know, the shoes were fine.
So basically when we got into the gym, Tori and I, we kind of felt a little awkward, like, because, you know, this isn't our scene. We didn't know what to expect. I know I felt out of place. And then I met with Tony, and he's one of the owners of the gym and, like, the instructor. He's an ex-boxer. And he was very welcoming, nicer with us than the people there because, obviously, he has a better connection with them. And we're like someone new. So he was a professional with us in the beginning, and then after we started getting comfortable and like he showed us the place, we checked it out, and we did the interview, he kind of opened up to us, and he was just like really nice, outgoing, and treated us like how he treated everybody else.
So my view on boxing now than before is that I kind of seen it as people just doing their thing like a regular sport, but it's actually kind of positive. They bring people out of the streets, like people who get in trouble. They come in the boxing ring, gym, and kind of like get all their anger out so they don't take it out on the streets and get in trouble. And so I feel like that's pretty positive as to people looking outside of it and saying that it's just violent, it's just another thing that they get into and trouble and all that, but it's really not like that. So